Hello again, everybody. Marcus here. I review stuff. Today, I'm reviewing the song Another Nightmare in America by Cory Branan. So, for those of you who maybe don't normally follow every single video I release, I have been randomizing the songs I listen to this week. I've taken every single request I've received, threw it into a Google Sheet, and then I hit the randomize button 3 times. Top result is what I listen to. So, this one was picked randomly from my requests. Because this does come as a request, I just want to remind you that you can continue to request music. Just leave it in the comments. I'll add it to this list. I don't know if I'm going to randomize always, but for now, it's been a pretty fun way to just take my mind off of picking music. I just get to listen to whatever the machine tells me to. So that's a lot of fun. I've never heard anything from this artist before, so I'm going in totally blind, hoping for the best. All right, let's listen. Cory Branan, Another Nightmare in America. Don't you know it, man? Here we go.
You uppity little ghost, don't you even know you're dead? We police the past, your future's in your head. We've hollowed out our Bibles to hide our golden guns. We've raised a silver gallows in the jewelry of your sons. That tattered flag is crimson with the blood that can't be wrong. Take one last drag of night air, cinch that blackness in a lung as we hoist another nightmare. Look away, move along, nothing to see here. Look away, hey there, are you even supposed to be here? We don't need a reason, keep your dreams where we can see them. Like that, oh baby, right there. Another nightmare in America. It's just another nightmare in America. Ain't no use praying, there's no soul there to save. Boy, you're just the difference between a hole and a grave. And that's exactly how they'll mark it, even if a camera sees us. I fill out some paperwork and sleep like baby Jesus. Look away, look away. Move along, nothing to see here. Look away, hey there, are you even supposed to be here? We don't need a reason, keep your dreams where we can see them. Just like that, oh baby, right there. It's just another nightmare in America. It's just another nightmare in America. Don't look so sad at me, that conviction makes it right. What you're calling a tragedy, I call just another night. We all pray to fire power, and really what did you expect? If you'll allow me to interpret the power to protect, I say it's 6 in the chest, 2 in the neck. You look away, move along, nothing to see here. Look away, hey there, are you even supposed to be here? We don't need a reason, his bullets scream freedom, just like that, oh baby, right there. It's just another nightmare in America. Oh say, can you just another nightmare in America. Oh say, can you just another nightmare in America. Oh say, can you just another nightmare in America. Oh say, you can see.
That was pretty cool. I liked that a whole lot. Pretty heavy in the lyrics, I think. Oof, lot to talk about here. So, there was something interesting. I was just thinking about this today. As a matter of fact, I'm a very reflective person. I'm always just thinking about stuff, especially in my morning walks. I got time to think. So I was just thinking about music and my philosophy on music. I've said it here on the channel before that it's my opinion that if you only ever listen to heavy lyrics or music that is meant to send a message or be political or whatever you want to call it, then I think you miss out on the fun of music, and in some cases, and you miss out on what's supposed to be enjoyable and fun about music. On the flip side, if all you ever listen to is like pop, things that are kind of shallow lyrically and just are just there to sound good, then you really miss out on the modern poetry and the modern beauty of music, and you miss out on those messages and those perspectives that the art form can provide. And I think the truly brilliant songs are the ones that kind of can have a foot in both worlds, where they can be sort of dark and heavy lyrically and talk about real subject matter and kind of leave you with a message while also sounding great and being fun and just wanting you to kind of listen to, and I think this is one of those, I think of a song like Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind, right? The lyrics are super dark, but, the instrumentals and the way it's sung is just so upbeat and fun that it's like unfortunately, people often forget or set aside the lyricism just to enjoy the nice melody. But I think those songs that really stick with you are those that just have that message while also just being fun to listen to. And again, I think this was one of those. So this fits in with exactly the kind of stuff I like to listen to. So let's break the song down like we always do. Of course, starting with the lyrics. I decided to go ahead and show you guys the lyrics as well, since I'm always reading them. And you can see I use Genius. I like to see kind of what other people say while also trying to give my own interpretation. So it does say here that this is the second single released from Branan's 2017 album Adios. Never want to shy away from political topics, Cory has stated. This one is written from the point of view of a racist killer cop. I don't know if you've ever heard of such a thing. I mean, and then apparently what have artists said about the song? I mean, it's just an anti-police violent song, pretty straightforward. I mean, it's relatively straightforward. It is written from the point of view of the cop, which is tricky. I'm not sure who said that, but apparently there's a quote here from somebody. So yeah, I kind of got that sort of. The part where he talked about paperwork and then going to bed at night, I was like, okay, that sounds a little nefarious there. But kind of with that in mind, let's take a look at these lyrics. So it says, "You uppity little ghost, don't you even know you're dead? We police the past, your future's in your head. We've hollowed out our Bibles to hide our golden guns. We've raised a silver gallows and the jewelry of your sons. We've raised a silver gallows and the jewelry of your sons. A tattered flag is crimson with a blood that can't be wrong. Take one last drag of night air, cinch that blackness in a lung, as we hoist another nightmare." So yeah, no doubt about it. This it starts off heavy here, and if you picture this from the perspective of a police officer, this is a police officer talking to, a citizen, likely unarmed, and this straight up saying, "Don't you know you're already dead?" That's hardcore. We police the past, your future's in your head. That's also a hard lyric, basically we are here to maintain the status quo, and so that bright future that you have, well, it's all up here because I have the power in this situation, right? This part speaks to me a lot. We've hollowed out our Bibles to hide our golden guns. I'm not going to pretend I'm some expert on religion, but it always just kind of bothers me when I see like people have like bumper stickers that say like guns and God and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know, man. From what I know about Jesus, as limited as it is, I don't think he wanted people shooting each other with guns. I don't think that's something he ever was hoping to see in his life, There are people who will say that the Bible does, I guess, condone violence in some ways. And I don't know about all that. I'm just telling you what I know is that, to me, guns and God seem like the antithesis of each other. At least they should be. And so I think that's a very, I don't think it's uniquely American necessarily, but definitely, especially Southern American, you see that a lot around here. And again, to me, it just, I don't like the feel of it, I don't like that message. We've raised the silver gallows and the jewelry of your sons. A tattered flag is crimson with the blood that can't be wrong. Oof, yeah. I think that's the idea of American exceptionalism there. So then, look away, move along, nothing to see here. Again, that definitely sounds like a police officer. Just, yes, I'm committing murder, but you don't have to worry about it. This is my business. Look away, hey, you there. Are you even supposed to be here? We don't need a reason. Keep your dreams where we can see them, like that. Oh, baby, right there. It's just another nightmare in America. It's just another nightmare in America. Ain't no use praying. There's no soul there to save. Boy, you're just the difference between a hole and a grave. Oof, man. Yeah, definitely a lot of racism going on in this one, but, purposeful, to send a message, and that's exactly how they'll market. Even if a camera sees us, I'll fill out some paperwork and sleep like baby Jesus. That's the line where I was like, oh, man, that's rough. And it's true. We've had so many protests recently. Anybody who's been keyed into anything happening in the world knows that there's these huge movements calling for police reform, and for good reason. I feel like you're always hearing this reports of another unarmed citizen shot by police, etc., etc. There's always going to be those people who say, oh, you should have just followed the rules or whatever, you should have just complied, but that's not it, man. Our Constitution guarantees that we get a fair trial. We get our day in court. And don't get me wrong, there are exceptions. If there is a mad gunman who is posing a threat to people actively, then yeah, you got to do what you got to do to protect people. But when it's somebody who allegedly wrote a false check, or if it was someone who was sleeping on their couch after a long day of work and you just bust into their house and start shooting, it's like, nah, man, that ain't it. There are cops who are looking for any reason. And again, living here in the South, I see that in police, not all police obviously, but certain police, and you see that in just some of the gun owner culture that you see here in the South. It's like there's that certain section of gun owners who are just looking for a reason. They want someone to pop off so that they can fire back. It's very scummy, and again, I hate it. And a lot of it is that guns and God crowd. I hate to say it, but we have a very wrong idea of guns in this country. And here's the thing: I'm not necessarily anti-gun. If you own guns, that's fine. You do your thing. What I am against is sort of the gun culture that we have sort of facilitated here in America, where we equate guns with God. Again, that's super unhealthy. I think we equate guns with power, with what have you. I think we need to change more than anything our mindset towards guns. But I'm not quite smart enough to know exactly how to do that. I'm just letting you know what I think. But yeah, there's a lot going on here that I think very much speaks to America today. And it looks like this album came out in 2017. And it spoke to America in 2017. That's the thing. This is not a 2020 problem. This has been a problem for decades upon decades, if you will. And it's true, if a camera sees this, I'll fill out some paperwork and sleep like baby Jesus. They literally broke into Breonna Taylor's apartment, shot her dead for nothing. No crime that she ever committed, and her executors, if you will, have never been brought to justice. So it's a hard reality. And here's the thing too: I'm a person of color. I am brown living in America. I worry sometimes when I see police. I'm like, that police officer, to me, is more of a threat to myself than I am to anybody around me. I know that a racist wouldn't think twice about putting me down. I'm brown too, so that's the thing. I feel, and you look at the statistics, African Americans, black people are killed more by cops than any other population, and Latinos like myself, Hispanic people like myself are second, and so we have as much of a stake in this as anybody else, And the thing is, white people are killed by cops, Asian people are killed by cops. It's like, I hate it when someone's like, oh, black people are being killed by cops, et cetera, and someone goes, well, white people are too, as if that's like, oh, well, then we should do nothing about it, right? It's like, no. So why aren't you angry also? Why isn't this a problem for you also? Is the whole thing. We could talk about this forever, because again, it is something that is currently happening in our climate, and we're seeing it day in and day out. So I would say that if you came here expecting me to be one way on this issue and I delivered the other, I would invite you to really open up your mind and think about, put yourself in someone else's shoes and think about it from their perspective. But regardless, let's keep looking at the lyrics here. Look away, move along, nothing to see here. Look away, hey you there. Are you even supposed to be here? We don't need a reason. Keep your dreams where we can see them. Just like that, oh baby, right there. It's just another nightmare in America. It's just another nightmare in America. That jury don't look so sad to me. That conviction makes it right. What you're calling a tragedy, I call just another night. We all pray to firepower, and really what did you expect? If you'll allow me to interpret the power to protect, I'd say it's 6 in the chest, 2 in the neck. Ooh, man, that's hardcore. Again, these are some hard, heavy lyrics. So backing up a little bit, the jury don't look so sad to me. That conviction makes it right. And here's the thing with juries, that they're not always representative of the people they're supposed to represent. A lot of times juries end up, siding one way or the other when they're really meant to be impartial. And that's what it's saying here, is it's hard to get a jury to look at things like this in a fair light. And then what you're calling a tragedy is just another night. And it's damn true that, sometimes this sort of police brutality finds its way into the everyday. And, there are a lot of people who have posited, okay, we're only catching cops who do things on camera or who get filmed. Who's to say what else is happening, behind the scenes that we're not seeing, So I think that really speaks to that as well. We all pray to firepower, and really what did you expect? If you allow me to interpret the power to protect. So it's true, we give this guy a gun and we tell him to interpret all these things with minimal training, if we're being real. And so it's what did you expect? You give these people a gun, you put them on a power trip, and what do you expect? They're going to abuse their power, And then the power to protect, I'd say it's 6 in the chest and 2 in the neck. So using violence whenever it may not always be necessary. And that's the big thing that people are calling for, is by defunding the police, you can then take that money and fund other programs that will find nonviolent solutions to problems that may otherwise be reacted to inappropriately by the police officer. But with that, you also want to make sure you have proper training for your police officers. It takes, as a teacher, I had to go to school for 4 years to learn how to be a teacher. I have to do trainings every single year. I have to make sure that I still know how to teach. I have to prove to the state that I've taken enough classes myself to show, hey, look, I still know how to teach. I'm still good at this, I promise. I have to get background checks. I have to, I am a mandatory reporter for CPS. All kinds of stuff. We are held to such a great standard because we have to ensure the safety of our kids. We have to ensure that our kids are being taught by professionals and yada yada yada. Well, why not for police officers too? When we're trusting them with so much as well. So, yeah, this is a huge topic. Obviously. You look away, move along, nothing to see here. Look away, hey you there, are you even supposed to be here? We don't need a reason, these bullets scream for freedom. Just like that, oh baby, right there. It's just another nightmare in America. Oh say, can you see? It's just another nightmare in America. Oh say, can you see? So yeah, very heavy on the lyrics here. Very poignant. Again, came out in 2017 and we're still seeing these problems today. And again, I don't know if there's necessarily any sort of easy solution. I've thrown out a bunch of ideas and stuff. But again, I'm not necessarily an expert. I do have a degree in sociology. Don't get me wrong, but that doesn't take care of everything. So lyrically, I think again very poignant. I think it was fantastic. I gave it 2 thumbs up. As far as the instrumentation goes, let's see, anybody here? Just tells me Cory Branan. Again, this was a very fun song, I think, for me. Obviously not from a lyrical standpoint, being a little bit on the darker side, but more so from just an instrumental standpoint. It's one of those where you're like, okay, this reminds me of some Bruce Springsteen type stuff, very it has that America sound where if you're not paying attention, you're like, oh, this is just a fun bop. A lot of people get Born in the USA wrong because they like, oh, this is a nice patriotic song, right? But it's really a criticism of America. but put to a nice Bruce Springsteen tune, right? To me, I feel this is the same way. This is a very Bruce Springsteen type tune with very dark lyricism. I wonder if Branan has any influence from Springsteen. So I think that was fun. The guitar was great. At first, I wasn't really sure what I was listening to. I was like, is this country or is this like rock? I really couldn't tell. So I think that was nice that this song, I think, had a bit of an air of genre-lessness, if that makes sense. I was like, okay, I can't quite pinpoint the genre right now, but I kind of like that. It's sort of music, almost free from constraints of genre. And I think it still leans and skews towards a particular genre. But it was just a fun listen. I think from an instrumental standpoint, I thought his voice sounded great. He really delivered a lot of those lines with passion when they really needed to have that passion. But then also sang with just a nice fun air about him. Again, very Bruce Springsteen-esque. So a lot of fun to be had there. 2 thumbs up for the instrumentation and the vocals. And then, of course, as far as replay value goes, this one I wanted on my playlist. Again, it was very easy to listen to because the instrumental parts and the vocals were just really fun and had a lot of good energy. But it also just has a very powerful message, I think, about something that we are currently dealing with today. So, fantastic job. 2 thumbs up across the board. I really enjoyed what I heard here. Solid suggestion by whoever did it. Thank you for your request. As always, if you would like to request something, leave it in the comments. I'll be sure to get to it. If you enjoyed the music as much as I did, go support the artist. Go listen to their music wherever you can. One place you should be able to find this song is going to be in my Spotify playlist. It's in the description below. It has every single song I've heard so far on my channel. It's a lot of music. And if you want to support me, just all the normal stuff you do on YouTube, like and subscribe and comment. All right, before I let you go, let's decide. What are we listening to next? Let's go to our Google Sheet. All right, we can delete this one. We are done with it. And here we go. Randomizing 3 times. And 1. And, ooh, Wise Blood, that'd been going. 2. 21 Pilots, that'd be a good one too. And 3. All right, looks like we're listening to some Pussifer next. Mama Said. That's how the person in the comments spelled it, so hopefully I spelled it right. I don't know if it's just supposed to be Mama Said, as S-A-I-D, but whatever. We'll listen to it. You can see some other really cool suggestions here. I can't wait to get to these. But yeah, next time, Pussifer Mama Said. Tune in. Hope to see you guys there. Hope you're staying safe and healthy. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.